Alright, here we go. We should be able to hear me momentarily, so when you guys can actually hear me, please let me know in the chat, and we will get started here. Sorry, my cat and dog are both hanging out with me tonight. Okay, so obviously Becca is asking a fair number of questions, so we can definitely hit some of these things. Alright, give me a moment to kind of just catch up. I think it's only going to be very few of us tonight, only 4 or so. Hopefully everyone else is taking advantage of the review videos in the past live stream. Okay, anyway, so let me get some things going here up on the screen. Whoops, wrong thing. Okay, so let me open this up for you guys to take a look at. Okay, so when you go to Blackboard, let me open this up too so you guys can see exactly what you would be seeing from the screen, right? So when you go to Blackboard, this is what you guys should see currently. Let's kind of go from here, right? So there are 2 review videos of me going over both of the study guides. So this particular one here is the Enlightenment Thinkers and Scientific Revolution and such, and this one here is the one that you guys have to do for homework to hand in with test tomorrow. So those are the answers to that. It's me talking over a key, and you should be able to get the answers. I'm not necessarily going to run through all of that obviously tonight because I just already have done it. It's already recorded, so for the sake of time and such. Cats. So anyway, let's get into the nitty gritty here. Okay, so Rebecca asked specifically, can I go over the Enlightenment thinker? So Rebecca, I'm gonna just ask, just again for sake of efficiency and such. So I might not exactly go over that, but if you go right from this Blackboard post or just directly from my channel, there is already a video of me going over those particular things, right? So the Enlightenment right here. So again, if you go right from here, the individual topic videos on Blackboard, there are a number of topics so you can specifically go over each of those. I also go over those on the first one right here. So as far as that goes, I'm not sure. It's kind of a bit of, oh, whatever. Let's just do it. Okay. So no, that's not what I wanted to click. Sorry. Okay, so this is the student's Google Drive that you can get to also from Blackboard from the course documents. So let's go into the Enlightenment Thinkers real quick since Rebecca asked. Why not? I got the time. So let's do it. So you have Thomas Hobbes, right? Thomas Hobbes he writes the Leviathan, right? And the big thing about Thomas Hobbes is he ultimately believes that humans exist in this state of nature, right? That they are going to pretty much always go off of their self-interest, right? That life is essentially nasty, brutish, and short without any protections of things like government. And he ultimately believes that humans are going to basically accept a government for protection from the selfish people and the constant state of war that he believes in and writes about in the Leviathan, right? So as a result, he actively thinks that a monarchy or a strong ruler is essentially the best type of government for you. Okay, so next one on the line, you have John Locke. John Locke, he writes 2 treatises on government. He is the big natural rights guy, life, liberty, and the protection of property, right? And that the purpose of a government is to protect those natural rights of the people. If the government is not doing this, then it's the people's right to overthrow the government. And he also believes that government gets its power from the people, from the consent of the governed, right? So that's really important. You have Montesquieu, who writes on the spirit of laws, and he believes in the separation of powers and checks and balances and things like that, and the separation of powers into 3 different distinct branches, right? Your legislative branch, judicial branch, and your executive branch, okay? Moving on the line, you have Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who expands upon the social contract and gets credited with that a bit because of his larger work on it. He basically believes that the government is like a contract between the people and the rulers, that in some cases, right, you need to give up some of those rights for the common good, with the government, essentially. You can't necessarily get everything you want when living with people. You have to give up some of these rights, the right to do whatever the heck you want, 100%. Anyway, so it also, in some cases, right, government is also based on the consent of the governed. So, if you get a question like that, honestly, it could be either Locke or Rousseau, as far as that goes. And I'm pretty sure we accepted both of those answers in the last test. And then lastly, you have Voltaire. And this is, he's going to definitely come up. Think about Voltaire as in religious, religious toleration. Religious toleration is, I can tell you, is probably going to be part of a question for sure on the test tomorrow, okay? And he also believes in the separation of church and state, okay? There are your Enlightenment thinkers. So let me keep going on the line here. For Rebecca's questions. Anyway, so Mary, wife of William, is she the daughter of James I or James II? So Becca, she is the daughter of James II. Okay, so I hope that answers that question specifically. So the English Bill of Rights, habeas corpus, keep going on the line. No person can be imprisoned without being charged with the crime. I think that's what that's supposed to actually say. So if it might be wrong, or the study guide might just have a word there, so that might make that a little more sense, right? You just can't imprison someone for no reason, basically, as part of the Bill of Rights, which is a big deal because the kings and previously could just grab someone being you're imprisoned and that's that, right? So without actually actively being charged, you can't be held, which is a pretty big deal. Okay, so what are the Romance languages again? So Romance languages are languages that are derived specifically from Latin, which is the language of ancient Rome, and that's that, right? So that's that. So the Romance languages, the big ones anyway, are going to be Spanish, Italian, Portuguese are the big three for sure. You got Italian, I said, right? Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. I feel like I'm missing one. I'll try to rethink that, but whatever it would be, you wouldn't need to necessarily know that. But Spanish, Portuguese, and Italian are for sure Romance languages, and that's what the people in the Latin America are going to be speaking. They're going to be speaking mostly Spanish and Portuguese. So do we have to memorize the rigid Spanish social class system? And I can tell you that you are going to need to know that. So let's just look at it briefly here on this other one. So going down the line, right? Where is it? Here we go. So oh, you're right. I did mess that up. I mixed European and Spanish. Sorry, Becca. So anyway, let's go down the line. Peninsulares, right? They are the people that are born in Spain, that they are living in Latin America specifically, right? They live there. They move there from Spain, from Europe. They're the high people on the food chain, basically, right? You can't be the highest members of government. You can't be the viceroy or the governor without actively being someone that was from Spain. They just like to have that semblance of control, and the Spanish monarch wouldn't have liked people being born in America to be in charge completely anyway. The Creoles, obviously, they are Spanish people that are born in America. They're still pure blood, I guess, the way they see it, right? And that's a big deal. So they're also being in positions of power and things like that, and they're relatively high status. But when it comes down to it, that's not they can't hold the highest levels, right? So then you have the mestizos, which this key is supposed to say mixed European and native blood. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to say. So sorry about that mix up on the key there. That's my fault since I made this one. So mulattoes, they are the next level down essentially, and they are mixed European and African, right? So African slave, and then ultimately the slaves and the descendants. That's going to be the lowest level. Okay. So anyway, going down the line here, I think I just answered Becca's thing there. How much do we need to know about Bach, Mozart, Delacroix, and Cervantes? Trying to rethink things for sure. I haven't looked at the tests in a couple days here. So give me 1 second. I would say, I would know him, honestly. I would especially know Cervantes personally, but I would definitely know them myself if I were you guys. How much do you need to know about them? Not really much more than what the notes would say from that particular day. Okay, so let's kind of keep going. I think that's really all the questions. So unless there are many more, I think we might actually call this part of it a night. But let me just reiterate, right? So as for, oh, wrong window here. I have two screens. Sorry. Here we go. Okay, so let's just go to my YouTube channel for a second, www.youtube.com/c/Garrett Kroner. You can see that I'm live right there. Woo. But anyway, right, so we have all of these videos that I've made, right? So obviously, these are a little earlier, right? The Renaissance, the Reformation, Age of Discovery, global trade. But, you know, there are videos on the scientific revolution. So if you want to review all the scientists, the Enlightenment for sure, the French Revolution. I made one on the Latin American revolutions, and they're all really not that long, right? So, you know, as far as listening to them again before you go to bed, and then maybe listening to them again on the way to school tomorrow or something like that. You guys actually have return periods before you're gonna be taking the test tomorrow, which you can actually come in if you'd like to get a flip-flop pass to come in and study with us. There's gonna be a number of people in there that are working on corrections and things like that during the 7th return. So you're more than welcome to do that if you would like. So anyway, those are definitely an options, right? You obviously have the past 2 live streams that I've done, which they go specifically through each study guide. So definitely. You know, utilize those, of course, if you don't have, if you can think of any more questions, obviously, in the next immediate minute or two, you know, I'll be glad to answer them while I'm still live here, but otherwise, those are your resources to definitely get some answers. You might need to fast forward here or there, or you can just listen to the whole thing, whatever you guys choose, obviously. Okay, so, and again, from Blackboard, I probably need to log in here again, nope. So when you go to our class, right, you can go to the course document tab over here, right? You got the course class Google Drive access. You can go to any of these individual things to get notes. There's notes. Even if some of the topics we didn't actually do formally notes, I actually included some notes for you guys to take a look at, because I'm pretty sure we didn't actually do notes on the Italian and German unifications, but there they are anyway, which could help you as well. The French Revolution, we got notes. We got other things in there too from the work read that we did. So they're all there, right? The 2 keys are located right here as well, the PDFs. So if you want to get into those 2 without actively watching me talk over them, that's the place to get them, okay? So let me see Kai's question here. So on the test review, are we going to need to know about the Latin American revolutionary figures? I would say yes, for sure. You need to know some of the Latin American revolutionary figures. We want to know where those people are from, so let's look at that specifically quickly right now, since we can do that pretty quick. Right, let's go down to the end here, where I'm pretty sure it is. Right, here we go. So it's really not that hard. There's only a few of them that we talked about, right? You have you have Father Hidalgo, right, who is going to lead the revolt in Mexico and be considered the father of Mexico and the founder of Mexico. So that's one, right? That's pretty much what you would need to know there. I would definitely also know that these things inspire the revolutions, right? The American Revolution, the French Revolution, the Enlightenment, definitely stuff that I would look at and get in your head. Simon Bolivar, definitely know that he's a Creole, because that could play into one of the questions as well. Hint, hint. Okay, and then going farther, so Simon Bolivar is going to kind of help liberate northern South America, right? Areas like Venezuela and Colombia, for sure. And then you have Toussaint Louverture. I butcher French, sorry, I can't speak a lick of French or even the accents, but he's going to be the former slave that is able to lead the rebellion in Haiti successfully. Okay, so it's really only 3 that you really need to know, so definitely get those in your head. It's been, again, since a little bit since I looked at the test, but I think there might be a question on maybe all 3 of them. Anyway, so you should think about the Monroe Doctrine. The Monroe Doctrine is going to play a part for sure, and honestly, since we don't talk about the United States that much, it's probably relatively safe to say if a question is about the United States in any way, if you read some of that language about the United States, it might be something about the Monroe Doctrine, so get that in your head as well. Okay? So anything else that you guys can think of? Any other questions? Get them in the chat in the next minute or so. Otherwise, I'm signing off. I'll let you guys do your studying. Alright guys, since it sounds really quiet, I'm going to turn this off. If you, for whatever reason, feel like you want to watch it again, it should show up. Actually, let me change the name of this right here. Test review number 2. We'll just do that, change the name. And it should automatically, when I turn this off, it should repost itself down at the very bottom of my channel. So if you feel like you want to watch this again, or you missed part of it, you should be able to watch it once YouTube finishes processing it. Shouldn't take that long. It wasn't that long of a live stream. Okay, so on that note, guys, have a great rest of your night. Good luck studying, and I will see you all tomorrow. Night.